Hi guys, and welcome to another Divi video. This is Jamie from System22 and webdesignandtechtips.com. Well, today we're going to explore bar counters. Bar counters are great little modules to have on your site for demoing data and statistics and what have you. Really easy to do. So let's get started. First thing I'm going to do is enable the Visual Builder. Once enabled, let's go to where we want to work. I've got a section here, the blue tab, with a column, with a row with two columns in it, the green tab right here. For sections, rows and columns, have a look at the previous video. It'll be in the playlist below this one. So let's add a new module to our second column here, little black button. And there's our bar counter module, left hand side just below the accordion. Left click on it, and as you can see, it loads it in there with a default setting. So if we look at our bar counter settings, we're in the content tab. Here's our actual bar. We can add more. We'll add more in a minute. Let's go down to elements and take a look. If you want to show just a number instead of a percentage, you can take the percentage number off right there. If you want to link the actual whole module itself to something, you can put a URL in here. I don't particularly need to do that today. Obviously, if it's on the same site, you're going to want it to open in the same window. If it's on an external site somewhere, you'll want it to open in a new tab. Not going to add a background or an admin label. Okay, well, let's go up to our design tab, and we can set the global design for our bar counters here. So we go into the bar right at the top there, and we set the background color. As you can see, that's changed that. Go into the text, and you can do a general text align and decoration here. If we wanted to put everything in the middle, just hit that. Percentage is now in the middle, and so is the title. I'm happy with it to be on the left though. Dark text color is fine for me. You can change it to light if you want to. And remember, this is global, so it's going to work on every one of your bars that you create from now on. But of course, you can style them all individually too. So we can go into our title text. Better change that back to dark so we can see it. And let's go into our title text. And of course, you can affect the title text on its own here. Just capitalize it, perhaps make it semi-bold. And you can make it central if you want to, without affecting the percentage by editing it here. And of course, we've got a title color here too. Rolling on down, you've got another little one for the percentage text itself. And again, you can style it, put any font you want in there. Divi by default has a ridiculous amount of fonts. I have no idea, but it's several hundred fonts families there, so you're never stuck for an interesting font to use. But I'm happy to use the default for this demonstration. Let's just make it semi-bold, and we don't need to do anything else with it. I'm happy where it is. Again, you can individually align your percentage text here if you wish. So let's move on down. Sizing wise, same as all the other modules, and this is common to all the modules. If you want to change the size of it, the width or the height, you can do it here. We've got two columns here, so it's stretching the whole width of a column. If you want it to be shorter, just pull it back this way, and as you can see, it's made it a lot shorter. If you still want it to sit in the middle or on the right hand of your column, you can do that with your alignment here. Simply hit the middle if you want it in the middle, right if you want it on the right, left if you want it on the left. I'm happy to have mine at 100% though, so I'm just going to delete that. Spacing is common as well. Like every other modules, you've got a margin. If I put margin in at the top, you'll see it'll push it down. And of course, with margins, you can do negative values, which will pull it up above the actual column that it's in. As you can see, that's now sitting 50 pixels above where it started. But again, I don't need any margin in there right now. But if you decide, well, I kind of want that bar to be wider with more body to it, you can add some padding. If you add it to the top, it'll make it fatter on top. As you can see, got some gap there above the 50. If you want it to be the same on both, simply hit the chain, it'll do the opposite side for you. Now I really don't need any in there for myself, I'm quite happy with that. Border wise, we can put a little border around it if we want to. That'll put a border around the whole bar there. So if we go in there, you can choose whether to round off the corners. If you wanted a rounded bar, you could put something like 50 in there. And as you can see, we've got rounded corners on it now on everything. And if you want to put a border around it, this one will do border all round, top only, right only, bottom only, left only. I'm happy with all round. Let's just take that up to 1 pixel and let's make it our purple color too. There we go. And of course you can make it wider by doing this. Take it to whatever you want there. You can choose a style which is standard HTML border styles such as dashed, dotted, doubled, etc. They're the standard border styles there. I'm going to take that border back down to about 1. I'm going to take those corners off. Take something off, just select it, hit delete, it'll go back to the default. As long as you've got this chain linked in the middle, it'll do all 4 at once for you. If you want to put different values in to each side, get some strange corner effects, just click on that to take it off. Okay, well we're in pretty good shape there. Let's roll on down. Add a little bit of box shadow if you want it to stand off of the page a little bit. You can change the blur and color and everything of your box shadow just below here if you need to. Not going to use filters. We'll be doing a separate video on filters and it won't do much for us here. Same with the transform. We'll do a whole video on transform and animation, as well as the advanced tab. The advanced tab, we can assign it an ID if we want to link to it, target it with something. We can give it a class if we want to add some extra CSS to style it above and beyond our styling options here. We've got before, main element, after, counter title, counter container, counter amount. And you can just put your CSS in here. For instance, if I go in the counter title, let's go font size. Let's say 35 pixels. And as you can see, that's made our title a lot bigger. Of course we can do that elsewhere, but you sometimes need CSS to do different styling options. So let's get rid of that. So we're pretty happy with that. When you're happy, just save your first bar there. Then we can go back in. And I always find the easiest way to do things with these, if you've got multiple bars, just hit the clone item because it'll take on all the styles. Of course, when you create a new one too, it will take on the style of that because we got it set in our default design tab. You can go into each one individually and style them separately. So when you're happy, just go into the next one, make the changes that you want there. Like I say, we can style these differently. This is going to be an extremely ugly bar counter. When you're happy, just move on. I'm sure you get the picture. Okay, when you're happy, just save your changes. Let's save the page changes, save draft or publish if you're ready, and exit the Visual Builder. And there's our little bar counter section. Like I say, that's a great thing to have on your site for showing stats or progression of projects. So I hope you've enjoyed that and found it useful. If you have, please give it a thumbs up, comment, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Once again, this has been Jamie from System22 and webdesignandtechtips.com. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.